At you. Oh, ho, 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 ho. Well, it's the first of the year, and I figured it's time to talk to the bulk ponies. It is time to make sure that all of my bulk ponies get taken care of, and today you are going to get taken care of, okay? So if you're here on my channel, understand that I do mostly unscripted and live uncut videos all covering SEO. And today we are going to be covering local SEO, a big topic that I know a lot of you want to know about. And I got a little cold today. And so I think as we go through this, understand I might be a little bit more quiet. You might have to put up the volume a bit and just deal with it, okay? Just deal with it. But let's just do some of the intros. If you don't like this boring stuff, just go ahead and skip it. But I think it's key. All right, we've got our case study website up since we last checked in. It was 10,000 going to now 14,000 in search volume, or sorry, traffic. That's cool. Okay, what did we do? Absolutely nothing. Just letting it sit there, like I said. So just let that really good content sit there, okay, and let that magically come into place. Okay, not saying anything, but definitely this is some of the other SEOs. Oh yeah, we know how to do SEO on YouTube. Apparently, they don't really know how to do SEO at all. But okay, here we are. I can do SEO too. This is only 700 in traffic for the month, and so yeah, I don't know. When you're talking about really doing SEO, you can either really do it or you can't. Sorry. And remember, I do offer consultation services of all kinds for all different businesses. And so you can reach out to me in my email, and I'm happy to discuss that more if you are interested. Okay? Won't go over that in too much detail right now. You can just reach out to me. Anyway, let's start with our quote of the day here. Don't be trapped by dogma, which is living with the results of other people's thinking. Steve Jobs. Gotta love that. Okay? So I think as we get into a little bit about local SEO and some opportunities around local SEO, what we have to dig into is understanding current Google versus old Google. So this is kind of what I'm seeing in terms of the ranking and like the ranking factors and kind of how it's prioritizing the ranking factors. So current Google is definitely ranking, or sorry, the ranking factors for backlinks is definitely very high, especially EEAT. It's a little different. That's going to be around the branding, and then search intent match. So that's like the term to term, and then NLP also pretty decently high, not as high as it used to be. And then that info gain is super high. So that info gain is super high in terms of current ranking factors. So what Google's looking for, because they're trying to kick out some of the AI content. Okay, so if you don't have the backlinks, you don't have the branding, you probably shouldn't be using the AI because you're just not going to be able to get the info gain that way. So if you have a giant site with a ton of links, then yeah, sure, AI might work perfectly for you. But if you got none of that, then it's not going to work. And then lastly, the user signals. So one of the things that I'm seeing pretty heavily right now is page engagement, things like that, as like being definitely some of the higher ranking factors. Okay, we need to understand this because we are going to be digging into this portion, the search intent match. Primarily looking at pages where there's nothing available, and so Google will just automatically put up your page because there's no other intent match. Okay, this is very different than Google a year ago, where it really didn't care too much a whole about branding. It just didn't, or links. It really cared a ton about search intent match. So that was a ton about term to term match and NLP. It just does not care about that as much. It did not care about info gain as much as it does or did the search intent match. Okay, so current Google versus Google about a year ago. They're always just adjusting these ranking factors, so just consider that. All right. So if you have questions about this, feel free, drop me a comment. You know what to do. Like, comment, subscribe, all that sort of stuff. Okay. Anyway, let's get into some unique local SEO strategies that you probably don't know about. So I think the first thing that we need to cover, though, before we do anything is just the reality is if you're trying to promote a local business, most calls, so like most leads, come through this map pack, okay? And this map pack is primarily driven in terms of its rankings by reviews. You can just see this right here. So let me just zoom in a little bit more so you can see it, okay? That is 906, 750, 520 in terms of plumbing services in Austin, Texas. I mean, it's generally just driven mostly by your review count. So if this isn't a unique strategy, but I just need you to know before we dig into anything else that this is going to be your number one strategy for getting calls. And if you're going to ask me about how to get reviews and all that sort of stuff, and we're not going to dig into that today, but I would say in short, your simple strategy is just get more reviews. It's not that easy. Like if you're trying to use any of the software out there to do it, it's not that easy. What I highly suggest is have the owners of these businesses make calls to recent services that they have completed and then try to ask them for a review. That's my number one tip. So just to make it super, super personalized, get away from the text messages that are just blasting out there asking for reviews. It may work, it may not work. Okay. If you want to go for really like old serviced accounts and try to use text blasting to do that, certainly you can do that. But I think honestly, like the more unique hand touch approach is going to net better results. It just is, period. All right, so now let's get into the actual like unique stuff, right? The stuff that you came here for. So all of these strategies that we're going to be looking at are content gaps. And so what I mean by content gap as we scroll up again is search intent match. That's your term to term, meaning like if I'm searching for, like a long tail keyword and there is no documents on Google that match that long tail keyword, and you put a document up that has a page title and meta description and page content that's good, that is all related to that search term, it's going to show it. Okay, it's just going to show it. And so you need to find those content gap opportunities to be able to fill in some of the search terms with the with the documents that you have, basically. So SEO, hello. Reminder, I do some of these things for folks. Anyway, okay, so content gaps. So localize informational keywords. So the first opportunity here is to take really competitive terms and to localize them. So neck pain would be one. Auto quotes would be another. Anything that's like super big that would be just like, you wouldn't want to go after that term from like a national level, okay? Your opportunity would actually be to try to target a specific geo and then create multiple pages that kind of target that same intent. So what you don't realize is that a lot of times Google is not sort of splitting out the geo-based search results because there's just no content there to do that with. So terms become localized when more people put out content that is localized. That's just basically how it works. So we're talking again, your page title, your meta description, page content. So think about going after the term neck pain and wanting to target people who are in Austin, Texas. How would you do it? You would actually make neck pain articles for specifically just Austin, Texas. So that would be your article. It would be struggling with neck pain in Austin, Texas or something, or dealing with neck pain in Austin, Texas, if you can understand what I'm getting at. And you can see no one is talking about neck pain in Austin, Texas. It's all just service pages, which is totally fine, but this is actually a pretty big opportunity. You can say neck pain, Austin, Texas, and then, you can actually get a document out there that is addressing in an informational style as well as service page style, neck pain in Austin, Texas. So why does that work? Let's go over why that works for a moment, because the reality is that more people are searching on their phones and more people are searching on their desktop with their geo turned on, as you can see here. Okay, it says results for Austin, Texas. And as you do that, the end searcher doesn't even need to put in Austin, Texas. They can just put in neck pain, okay? So if they just put in neck pain, then the end searcher doesn't even really need to say near me. Near me searches don't even really happen anymore, right? Because it's just Google that's deciding, hey, we're going to search for what you're looking for, which is neck pain or something else that might be more service oriented or ailment oriented if we're talking about healthcare here, in a particular geo, because they're trying to get the best document to that user. Remember, it's a Q&A, right? You got a question, they want to give you an answer. So you don't even need to be targeting keywords that have specific cities or states in them. You can just target the top level keyword, the very competitive one that you're going after, which in this case, it would be neck pain, okay? And there's a huge opportunity here for just targeting neck pain, and anybody who lands up on it is going to be your same folks who are in Austin, Texas, and that would be your service area. I know that's kind of confusing. That's a lot. Just remember, people, when they search for stuff on their phone or on their desktop, Google really wants to geo things, right? They really want to localize things. They want to give people the top and best results. And so if your page says, dealing with neck pain in Austin, Texas as like an informational article, there's a good likelihood it's just going to serve it up to the neck pain keyword, which is extremely competitive. So that's a good way for you to target your ideal customer persona, as well as target extremely high competition keywords. So let's go through your simple strategy. So break up larger competitive terms into localized terms, I'm calling them. And then remember that your content strategy is key here. Again, so I'm pimping out my stuff. But I am definitely do this for folks. I'm happy to help you if you want. But just keep in mind, we don't do like a ton of like low budget work. Okay, sorry. That's because content strategy is king these days, and it takes a little bit of time for sure. Okay, we the pros. We ain't damn little Tonka truck SEOs. Okay, no Tonka truck SEOs over there. All right, number 3. So same sort of concept. Remember, we said that we're going to be digging into content gaps. If you don't know what a content gap is, just think about it this way. Just think that someone is looking for something that doesn't yet exist, and that's a document. And so if you've got a bunch of people who are saying, hey, I'm looking for this document, and one doesn't exist, your goal is to create that document. And you're going to be the number one result because Google's not going to have any other choice than to put you up there at the top because there is no other competition. So zero competition, okay? Now, a lot of people just focus in on city and state. Well, why would you do that? In bigger cities, which I would argue is most cities across the United States, you can use neighborhood and counties, right? So you could target the intent of a neighborhood, you could target the intent of a county, and you could do a lot more around different geo ideas. You don't have to just specifically use city and state. So let's look at the big boy SEOs. I like these guys. These are the big boy SEOs. See how they do this within real estate? So, if people were searching, they're going to be searching for a particular neighborhood. So even this neighborhood, as you can see, has search volume around it. And, you could go into all the different neighborhoods that exist in Chicago as an example. And now you have, 100, 200, maybe even 300 page opportunities to go ahead and create. Sure, that's a little bit of a programmatic strategy, but also it's probably not because there's going to be custom content that's on that page. And you're going to want to make sure that that custom content is not garbage, okay? You're going to want to make sure that it's relevant to the end user, that it's helpful to the end user, and that's going to be the only way that you're going to rank and beat some of these folks. So my recommendation is just go deeper than city and state. So go neighborhood level, go county level, go district level. I don't know what you're building, but go into deeper levels than just city and state. Think about that, okay? And while this is pretty heavily controlled by some of the big competitors, there may be things that you're doing within your specific space that are a lot more open, and there's a lot more opportunity. So just think more creatively. That's what this is about, is just thinking creatively about how people are finding you. Now, keep in mind, if they're in that neighborhood or that county, Google's not going to do the same match. They only match based on geo that's in that city. So they're not going to do that same match. So you are going to have to kind of think through whether people are looking for your services in a particular neighborhood. So real estate is a perfect one, but there's many others that you could be looking through, right? So I think, real estate is just a great example, but there's many, many others out there. Okay. Number 4, the last one. So thinking about content gaps again, hone in on nearby cities. So I see this happening all the time. So somebody says, hey, I'm a servicer that's I'm picking a town. I used Chicago again. So I'm going to pick a suburb of Chicago, Wheaton, Illinois. Okay. And they say, well, I'm a chiropractor and my service area is in Wheaton. That's the city that I live in. Well, why would you not create individual, unique, and well put together pages for every single nearby city, even as far as Chicago? Expand out that service area. So service in XYZ, like create more unique pages Don't do a ton, but just make sure they're very unique for all the neighboring cities. Because again, if somebody's searching nearby, let Google help you. Let them decipher who's going to be the end user that gets your page. You may be doing this already, and you're going to tell me, you're going to say, I have indexing issues and all that sort of stuff. Okay, if you have indexing issues, you're doing this wrong. So you need to make sure, once again, make a unique page with unique content that targets what the user wants to see. So on these types of pages, do not add fluff content. That will not work. So what you need to do is you need to have more informational style questions and maybe answers that you put together on the page. So how much does X service cost in Y city? And change that up based on every single page and city that you're creating. Try to be helpful, right? What is the average time that X takes in Y city? So like if you're a dentist, how much does cosmetic dentistry cost in Winfield, Illinois? That would be your question. What is the average time that cosmetic dentistry costs or takes in Winfield, Illinois? See, so you create custom content for every single page and make sure that it's well researched and that there's like good statistics on it. And that will get you out of the indexing Eden that you're in, this like infinite indexing, non-indexed thing that's going on. And that's because honestly, just Google doesn't see that you have enough unique content on the page and it's not going to rank it. So that is your quite simple strategy to be able to get out of that. So if you're deploying this but you're not seeing the results, you're probably doing it wrong. Okay, so those are my top 4 strategies. Hopefully these are all very unique and different to you. And if you haven't seen something that you like, definitely head over to my channel because I'm telling you, I got the most unique stuff. You actually learn things on my channel. Okay, I don't know what all these other Tonka truck SEOs are teaching you. And remember, I do help people mostly with editorial work. If you want that, their content strategy, their SEO strategy, there is a package that I'm happy to send over to you. Typically, it's around $3,000 a month. We have had quite a few folks from the channel sign up. It's been great to work with all y'all, and more coming in and more results that we're definitely going to be sharing from that work. And I also help folks who are trying to amplify their local strategy and e-commerce strategy too. So if you would like that, just head over to my profile and you can contact me by email, okay? And if you're here and you're one of the Black Hat SEOs, know that I hope your charts are going up and to the right. And give me a like and a subscribe and a comment because I'm doing this when I'm sick, okay? Thank you very much. Hugs and kisses. Goodbye.